Hi, my name is Heather McConley, and I'm a leader with Usborne Books More, and I'm here to share with you who are visually impaired some descriptions of the new titles that came out in fall for 2021. So it's July 2021. Not all the new titles are out yet, and specifically the Christmas ones especially won't be out until closer to September, but the ones that I do have, I am going to separate them first into Kane Miller and then Usborne, and I'm going to try my best to give you who are visually impaired some idea of what's on the page so that you can sell these books to your customers and friends. All right, so the first thing I wanted to do is show off the School of Monsters. This is a new chapter book series from Sally Rippin. For those of you who don't know, Sally Rippin is also the author of the Hey Jack and Billy B. Brown series and the Polly and Buster series, and they are fantastic. These are a level that is lower than those. So I'm going to read very quickly from the Bat Boy Tim Says Boo book, and it says, I'm going to open the page and it says, "Hello, you. Oh, please don't look." Inside the pages of this book, and look and book are highlighted so you can tell that they rhyme. Turn around and quickly run, the School of Monsters has begun. And that's where the book actually begins. And then we have the title page, Bat Boy Tim Says Boo, and on the first page you have quite literally 13 words. So it says, "Some are scaly, some have hair, some monsters vanish into air." Poof! And there are lots of very colorful illustrations of the monsters. The next page reads, "Like Bat Boy Tim, who loves to play by always getting in the way." And in the second picture you have him sitting in the middle of the chessboard of two other monsters. Getting in the way. And so it talks about how Bat Boy Tim, is getting in trouble for always being in the way. At lunchtime, when the class is out, Bat Boy Tim flies all about. A paper here, a paper there, on books and tables, on a chair. And it says swoosh. One by one they find a note and show each other what Tim wrote. So Tim was kept in from recess because he wasn't very well behaved, and so all the notes say, "Can we be friends?" or "I'm sorry," or "I'm sorry I scared you," that kind of thing. Tim then changes from bat to kid because he is a mini vampire, and these are the School of Monsters, remember? So he changes from bat to kid. They're happy now. See what he did? It's cool to hang down from the wall, but having friends is best of all. And that is the last page of the story. After the story, there is a list of new words to learn. Some of these will be sight words. They don't always follow a clear pattern, like, for example, there. But most of them are sound outable, like bat and to and away and boo, that kind of thing. In the back it has how to use this book for parents to read, and your readers might actually be able to read this, although there are some illustrations, and then a little tiny bit about Sally Rippin. At the very back there is how to draw Bat Boy Tim, step-by-step instructions from Chris Kennett, who did all the art for the book, on how to draw Bat Boy Tim. So that is the School of Monsters. They come in a set of 5 for $29.99, or they're available individually for $6.99. Again, the illustrations are full color, so and they're, the paper is really nice, so they're very well done. These are early readers for before Billy B. Brown and before Hey Jack, and kind of like after Ted and Friends. It's very simple language, all rhyming. So they're going to be, for very early readers, or very first chapter books. Next in our chapter books, I'm going to highlight two new chapter books, and they are both part of series. I have Olivia's Secret Scribbles Super Science Stars, and I also have Ella at Eden's New Girl. And so just so you know, when we first got the Ella series, first we got the Ella Diaries, and that starts out with Double Dare You. And that's very cute. There's illustrations. Half of the writing is done in pink in those books. And it's like Ella is writing in her diary, sometimes with a regular pen, sometimes with a big pen, about all the things that are going on in school and in her life and so forth. Olivia came next. Olivia is her younger sister. And Olivia's Secret Scribbles was born. It is a lower level chapter book than the Ella Diaries. The Ella Diaries I would recommend for about 3rd or 4th grade and up. And Olivia's Secret Scribbles is much more for about 2nd grade. It's going to be on a similar level to the Billy B. Brown series, maybe slightly more difficult, but then there's illustrations that it looks like Ella does herself, in quotes, all throughout the book. And then this year they have come out with another series based on the Ella Diaries, Ella. And Ella has grown up and now she's at boarding school. So I'm gonna talk about Olivia's Secret Scribbles first and read you a couple pages of that, just so that you get a feel for that. So this is Olivia's Secret Scribbles Super Science Stars, and it starts out. Super Science Tuesday. I am so excited. Next week at school, we are having a science fair, and science fair is on a banner with hearts all around it. Every class will make their own experiments for it, and there's going to be a prize for the best one. And guess who the judges are going to be? Real scientists in pink. I really, 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 in pink, want to win. I heart science. I am making lots of fun science projects right here in my bedroom already. This is a special glittery lava lamp, and then she draws an arrow to it. I made to put on my bedside table. It was super easy to make. I quote unquote borrowed the glitter for it from Ella's big box of craft supplies. I don't think she's noticed yet, smiley face. And then the next page. Our teacher, Mr. Platt, and there's a picture of him, divided our class into 4 groups. Our group is the best. It has lots of my friends in it, and that's all in pink. And then she lists the 6 friends, and they're all drawn out. Harry, Nico, me, Ava, Daisy, and Matilda, my heart BFF. So hopefully that gives you an indication. There's about 20 words on each page, maybe 30. And the book itself has, I'm counting, hold on, 95 pages. So again, maybe just slightly more advanced than the Billy B. Brown series, and very fun, especially for those who are more inclined to girly girl type books. So it's Olivia's Secret Scribbles, and it's like she's writing in her diary. Next we have Ella at Eden, and so again Ella has grown up, so you're going to notice, so from here to Ella Diaries is a leap of a year or two, probably about 2 years, and then from Ella Diaries to here is a leap for a year or two. So this is going to be an older book for maybe your middle readers, maybe 5th grade, 6th grade. It starts off with a drawing of the college and then the dorms and where Ella's room is, because Eden is a boarding school. And I will read you a couple pages of this. There are not any pictures written in here, but each chapter heading is nicely illustrated. Chapter 1. I looked up at the stone tower which disappeared into the clear blue sky. I squeezed Olivia's hand. Remember, her little sister. She looked back at me with her deep brown eyes and raised her eyebrows. It was almost like she was silently saying, "It's not too late to back out." My tummy fluttered with nerves, and I noticed my breaths were quick and shallow. I felt Mom's reassuring hand on my shoulder, and my breathing calmed. My little brother Max was jumping off a low stone wall, striking the air with a karate kick each time. He didn't seem to appreciate what was going on. That today was a big day of change for our family. Dad waved at him to get off the wall and come and join the rest of us. I saw Max's mouth utter the words, "Aw, man," and I smiled. The courtyard we were standing in was vast. It looked as big as my entire primary school. All around the perimeter of the immaculately paved courtyard were various old buildings glinting in the sunlight. Big sandstone buildings with pointy tops. All that was missing was a princess trailing her hair out a top window. And so that is how the book opens, and that's about the reading level that it is. It's, again, probably great for a 5th grader, and it's about Ella going to boarding school. Last on my list of new chapter books from Kane Miller, we have a book called Hapless Hero Henry. And the back reads, "You can't choose your family, but sometimes you have to outrun them as fast as you can." Henry Melchior, and Henry is spelled I-E, by the way. Henry Melchior has 3 problems. Okay, there are heaps more, but 3 is plenty to start with. Number 1, only boys are allowed in the house of Melchior. Number 2, she is not a boy. Number 3, she is a quote-unquote hapless hero. Add missing parents, an intriguing note, a mysterious boy, a house of heroes, and Henry Melchior's life is about to be turned upside down. And this book is written by Petra James, and it's a little lower level than the Ella Diaries, probably, or than the Ella at Eden series, probably about the same letter, maybe slightly higher than the Ella Diaries. So I'm going to put this somewhere between 3rd and 4th grade for a reader, and I will read you again the first couple of pages. Chapter 1, Henry. I know I have to tell you right away. It was the spark that caused the flame that caused the house to burn. It blazed a hole in my life. Besides, I hate not knowing things. I bet you hate not knowing things too. Not knowing things can be dangerous to your health. It's true. See this wide open mouth? And there's an arrow with a picture to a wide open mouth drawn. Note to you, I call it shock jaw. It's where your mouth just drops open. It happens when you don't know things, and then you do. Imagine if a bee buzzed into your wide open mouth and stung you on the tonsils. Imagine if your tonsils blew up like a balloon and blocked your throat. Now imagine if you couldn't breathe. Note to you, dangerous, huh? Shock jaw happens a lot when people hear my name first and then meet me second. They are surprised, shocked, staggered, startled, and stumped to discover I am Henry the girl. Yes, a girl. Girl as in I am not a boy. Were you expecting that? And then it has little yes, no bubbles, and you're supposed to fill it out. P.S. Only big fibbers answer yes. Are you a big fibber? Little bubbles again. Yes, no. P.S. If you answered yes, then this is the story for you. There are tons of big fibbers, and most of them are related to me. I bet you thought a story called Hapless Hero Henry would be about a boy, because Henry is a boy's name. And it is usually, but there's nothing usual about my story, believe me. And then it has a scale of usual, and it's just a graph. It's an XY graph, and it says scale of usual, and it has a line, usual, unusual, unusually, unusual, unusually, unusually, unusual, and then my story. If your full name was Henrietta Madeline Melchior, I bet you'd shorten it to something people could say without sounding like their mouths were stuffed full of words, wouldn't you? What were my parents, in parentheses, not thinking? And so, again, there are quite a number of illustrations and that are supposed to have been done by Henry, and other things that are pulled out, like the yes-no bubbles and so forth. So in the middle of the book, there's a whole page with pictures of her ancestors, or drawings of what her ancestors would look like and so forth. There's a letter from Phidias and brother Thaddeus and so forth in here. It's maybe not the easiest book for somebody to read with a reader, but it is lots of fun, and it will be great fun for 4th grade-ish kids. Okay, moving on, I'm going to go to a few of our picture books. The first one is called Luna Loves Dance, and for those of you who don't know Luna already, Luna Loves Library Day was the first one, and we are introduced to Luna. She has divorced parents, a white mother and a black father, and the library is where she and her father get to go on days where she's with her dad. And so then we had Luna Loves Art, and now we have Luna Loves Dance. And in the beginning we have, in the flat page, we've got a picture of all kinds of kids putting on all kinds of different shoes. And then we start the story. It says, Luna loves dance. Luna loves dance, twirling at Dad's, leaping at Mom's. When Luna dances, it's like the world's volume turns up, like all colors brighten, like sunlight sparkles behind every cloud. Today is the day of her dance tryout. And you see a picture of Luna in her dance shoes. Check. Dance tutu, check, with her dance bag, which is purple with a star on it. Check. And the illustrations are nicely done. They're not perfectly precise. They're a little fuzzy on the edges, but they're really beautifully done. Mom and Dad watch as the dance teacher shows the class a double tap spin, duck dive, twirl leap. If Luna does well in the tryout, she'll be a real dancer. Luna is next. And one of the neat things about the Luna series is that there are kids of all flavors and parents of all flavors here too. We've got African kids and Asian kids and white kids and just, all flavors, and both boys and girls. Asian kids from both the Orient and from, there's Islamic kids girls are covered with a headdress and everything else. So it's a really neat book for diversity, and it's fantastic that way. So on the following pages, we learn that Luna is not a good dancer. She trips and falls much more than she actually dances. And then Luna gets depressed, and it's a beautiful way that they describe this. It says, and it's like all sounds have been muffled, like all colors have been dulled, like sunlight has been snatched away from behind every cloud. Mom and Dad tell her it's okay, not to worry. Practice makes perfect. You can still dance. But I'll never be a real dancer, says Luna. And then Mom takes Luna to see a musical, and during the intermission, Luna shimmies over to the ice cream cellar. See, you're dancing, says Mom, but I'll never be a real dancer, says Luna. And then her grandparents are dancing with her, and Dad takes Luna to a carnival where she dances in the streets. See, you're dancing, says Dad, but I'll never be a real dancer. And Dad lifts Luna up. A sun is a star when it shines. A bell is a chime when it rings. You're a real dancer when you dance, and your moves make colors sing. And so then she goes to a birthday party, and they put on some music, and Luna does a dance. She double tap spins, duck dives, twirls, and leaps like she has never leapt before, soaring high like she is flying, and everyone gasps and says, Luna, you are a real dancer. And it's like the world's volume has been turned up as Luna teaches her friends to shimmy, like all the colors are tapping their feet as Luna shows Dad how to pirouette, and so forth. And it says, Luna shows everyone how to leap, leap, leap over hard times with joy bounding in your heart. Luna loves dance. And that is the Luna Loves Dance story. The next picture book is called Leo and the Octopus, and it is about an autistic child. And Leo feels like an alien in the world. It's really nicely done. The world was too bright for Leo and too loud. I must be living on the wrong planet, he thought. None of the other children understood Leo, and he didn't understand them. At home, Leo would try to hide inside his cardboard box to read. Then he could relax. because life on the wrong planet was stressful and tiring and lonely until the day Leo met Maya. Maya is an octopus, by the way. She has 8 arms, 3 hearts, and a beak like a parrot, said Edgar, the octopus keeper. She looks like an alien, Leo thought. I feel like an alien. We should get along. And then Leo learns that Maya will turn colors depending on her mood, which Leo finds fascinating because it would be so much easier for everybody involved if moods could be as easily interpreted as that for Leo, because again, Leo is autistic, and that just makes life very hard for him. I think she likes you, said Edgar. Why don't you come back and visit every Friday? Leo was excited. From now on, Friday would be Octopus Day. Every Friday, Leo built new puzzles for Maya. Challenging puzzles, very challenging puzzles, impossibly challenging puzzles, and Maya solved them all. And one day, other people come to the aquarium and are too noisy and do too many flash photos, and so Maya gets mad and hoses her visitors with a jet of cold water. And then, after everybody runs away, it says, everyone had left except for one small boy. Maya has 8 arms, 3 hearts, and a beak like a parrot. Would you like to meet her? Leo asked. After all, who wouldn't want to meet an alien? The boy said yes. Maya touched the boy's arm. Her skin turned smooth and white. Leo knew this was a good sign. It means Maya likes you, he explained. Then Leo told the boy all about cute octopuses shaped like umbrellas and clever octopuses pretending to be corals. And, and about blanket octopuses that look like superheroes and Argonaut octopuses floating in shells. The boy listened closely until Leo had told him everything he knew. And then they walked home together. And the picture at the end is just a picture of the big aquarium. Leo knew a little bit more about friendship now, and he knew that this was a good sign too. And so that is Leo and the Octopus by Isabel Marinoff and Chris Nixon, and it's beautifully done. It explains to kids without autism what autism feels like, and it talks about how to make friends for kids who are autistic, and then, of course, the wonderful octopus, too. All right, next is a great book from Eric Odie, who has written many of our wonderful books, called Stop That Poem. This is illustrated by Ji-Ting Chen. And again, this book is great for diversity. It's got kids who are, one of them is almost certainly African American, and the other one may be Asian. It looks like one is a boy and one is a girl. And the boy says, "What are you making?" A poem. And each word is on its own brick. And they stack up the bricks and put them in long columns to make the poem. So here's the first poem. Then fall like a warm spring shower. It's too tall, you know, and the girl has put more bricks on it, and now it says, a poem might soar like a kite, climb like a tower, and then fall like a warm spring shower. And then the wind comes and blows all the words away. Remember, the words are on pieces of paper anyway. They look like bricks, but they're not. And so the wind has blown all these pieces of paper away, and the boy yells out, "Stop that poem!" And the poem has now changed, and it reads, a poem might jump up, take flight, climb higher and higher, then settle like birds on a wire. And then, of course, we have a picture of telephone wires with birds on them. In the next page, we have the kids in a field, and one poem reads, a poem might pass through the tall grass like a little green snake, or float like a boat, and the other child is near the water, or float like a toy boat on a blue lake. And that's the way the story goes for quite some time. It has different words on each page, different parts of the longer poem. But each part of the longer poem is its own shorter poem. And here's another double page. It says, look around. Your poem may be hiding or might be found riding on a noisy bus downtown. And the riding on a noisy bus are all held up on top of a school bus for the illustration. Look around. Your poem might be clattering, chattering like a train, and we've got the subway that's elevated here, scattering like pouring rain, and of course it's raining and people have umbrellas out. And then we have kids running down the hallway after the words, set your poem free, it only wants to see what is waiting around the corner. And then two kids are on a collision course around a blind hallway. And they do collide, and it says, set your poem free on the next page. Their wagons collide, they tip over, and all the pieces of paper fall out. And then all the people help pick up the pieces of paper and trade them back and forth. And the last page reads, a poem might scramble, ramble, and roam, and in the end make a friend and find a home. And that is the book, Stop That Poem. It's a great picture book about poetry and so forth. So this is getting long already. I'm going to do the Kane Miller one, and then I'll upload this, and then I'll do Usborne in the next set. So we have two books. I have two books in the series, Let's Go Shopping. These are designed to be vocabulary building board books. I'm going to take the bookstore one and show you. I've got bookstore and supermarket. So in the beginning, we have the mom and or the dad elephant and the child elephant, and they have a list of books that they want to get, and the list is done in cursive. And then the next page shows each item on the shopping list, colored pencils and a book called Snow White, which is a fairy tale book, and so forth. So it's not entirely clear what everything is. I mean, obviously the colored pencils are colored pencils, but it says fairy tale book, and then it has a picture of Snow White. And then it says firefighter book, and it has a picture of a fire truck book with wheels on it. Marbles, and then what looks like marbles, that's great. A bug book, and it says all about bugs. It's obviously a board book. A cookbook about pasta, and a ship book. It says big ships. Now, so it introduces just on the first page what everything is, and then you turn the page, and on each subsequent page you see lots of books, but only one is on the page from the beginning. So you have this list, and then you turn the page, and you are shown 8 books, but of the 8 books, only one was on the first page. You turn the page again, and we've got another 8 books, and again, only one is on the second page. And on the other side of the page, you've got a little story. It says, nothing is nicer than being read to. Fairy tales are little elephant's favorite. Which fairy tale book should we take home? And then you choose from among the 8 books, the one that looks like the one that was in the beginning, and it was Snow White. And the next page reads, you can try out the pens to see which ones you like best in the stationery corner. A beautiful drawing, but what was on our shopping list? And so it's got colored pencils, scissors, postcard, eraser, fountain pen, bookmark, notebook, pencil, and stationery. Postcard, I don't know if I said that one. Obviously, colored pencils were the one thing that was on the list, and so then you find it. At the end of the book, the people check out, the 2 elephants, because they're elephants, one is a dad and one is a child. They check out at the counter, and it says, did we get everything? Wonderful. Then it's time to check out. You did a great job. Wait, was that on the shopping list? And you see something new that was not on the shopping list. And it's a yo-yo, by the way. And it says, that's okay. It was a good shopping trip. And then at the end, you see, on the back cover, you see the little elephant with all the things that she got at the store. And in the Let's Go Shopping supermarket, it's 2 foxes instead of 2 elephants. It looks like a dad fox and a little fox. And they have to, and again, it's a vocabulary builder, great board book series. These are about 6 inches by 6 inches, and very colorful. Next we have Going Outside, Listen and Look. And these are also great for diversity. You've got, these are designed for an urban environment as well. So they're designed to be mindful. So I'm going to go through the look one. Going Outside, Look. And on the cover you have a black child. And it says, you open it up, and you open it up to, it's a street in front of an empty lot that is covered with litter, a turned over shopping cart and beer cans and an old empty bird cage and some bricks. And the poem reads, and because all good children's books are poetry, city streets, buildings, sidewalks, cars and buses rushing by. Scattered weeds and jumbled trash. Look, what can you see? And so the next page shows lots of people coming to that lot to clean up. They've got trash bags, they're wearing gloves, and they're picking up things and pulling weeds and so forth. And it says bags of paper, bottles, cans, bits of plastic, shards of glass, friends and neighbors pitching in. Look, what can you see? And now they're going to plant a community garden. Raking, digging, planting seeds, water, sun, and time will grow. Turn the page. Trees and shrubs, they're standing tall. Look, what can you see? And this is designed, I think out of all the people, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There are 11 people on the page. There are various squirrels, flowers, trees, and so forth. I think of all the people, only 2 of them are white. So again, it's a great book for diversity. You've got kids with their heads covered for Islamic stuff. You've got kids with, all kinds of different clothing and hats and so forth. It's great. It's great for diversity. You've also got a squirrel and a kitty cat and a dog on a leash. So it's wonderful. Turn the page. Little birds are nesting now, and you have a few birds in a nest, and you've got the cage that was on the ground in the first bit. The door has been taken off, and they're using it as a bird feeder, and there's a goldfinch in there. Turn the page. Butterflies and honeybees flitting by as daylight fades. Last page. Look, what can you see? And the mom is holding the child in her arms, and there are bright city lights kind of flying over the garden, and you can see a few stars too. So those are mindfulness books for toddlers, exploring the outdoors, and follow a toddler and parent as they rewild an urban area with the help of their community. Listen, what can you hear is very similar. And explore the outdoors and follow a toddler and parent as they take a rainy day walk and discover the sounds of nature. But again, this is not like a deep forest. This is sort of an urban environment, so think like Central Park in New York. You've got worms under trees. You've got trees drip, drip, sip water underground. Listen, what can you hear? And you can hear a little mole. Mud squelches, puddles slosh, and blades swish, wave, and rustle on the pond. Listen, what can you hear? And those blades, they're not like ice skating blades or anything else. It's reeds like cattails. And you've got a little frog saying garumph. And then as it starts to dry out, a bird sings tweet, tweet. Flowers droop, children droop because they're getting tired. And it says tweet, 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 tweet. Birds flutter, flap, rise, sweep the sky. Listen, what can you hear? And you can see in the last page of this book a frog jumping in the water and a deer taking a drink and a squirrel on a tree branch. So these are wonderful books to talk about. They're not going to be easy to do for folks with visual impairments, but they are very lovely otherwise. Again, those are board books. Next up we have, it's a set of 4 board books, and these are very punny. This is called Good for Your Bod Veggie Squad. 4 books to share, and they come in a box set. They don't come individually at all, and each book is very, very punny. So I'm going to read Super Crunch the Carrot to you now. We also have Ollie Broccoli, and we have Sweet Corn and Agent Tomato. These books are about, I'm going to say 4.5 or 5 inches square. So, and they're board books as well. So this one, Super Crunch, is about a carrot, and on the front of it you have a little cutout carrot with a cutout cape, and then he's got a mask over his eyes. So he's a superhero. Say hello to Super Crunch. His incredible vitamins give our bodies carrot power, and now he's flying. Just one look with his supervision can make a cookie crumble. And so now the cookie, which is shaped like a Pac-Man and also has a little bit of a cutout that you can follow with your finger, the cookie is getting kicked out. Pesky candies fly away from his healthy glow. And so you can see that as Super Carrot is running towards the candies are all flying away like little bats. They look a little bit like Bat Boy Tim, in fact. His amazing memory power makes sugary soda go pop. And then we've got a bottle of soda running away from the carrot who's holding a wanted poster for the soda pop bottle. It's a 2-liter bottle, by the way. And for fighting coughs and colds, Super Crunch takes the cake. And we've got him carrying cake away. He's flying, and he's got the cake by its frosting, and a piece of cake, by the way, by its frosting, and the yes. Enough about that. If you need an energy boost, ask for Super Crunch and his friends, and then you can see a cutout with an orange, a banana, a carrot, an apple probably, and then a pineapple in back. And so these are, meet Super Crunch, the lunchbox hero. And he, all of these are kind of like, healthy foods are wonderful for you. Tomatoes, broccolis, corn, and so forth. And it's kind of like advertising good eating for kids, for what it's worth. Next, we have a series called Big Words for Little People. This series has 6 books in it. They are available individually for $12.99 each. Bravery, kindness, friendship, doing your best, calmness, and happiness. So I'm going to grab Happiness and read some of it to you. On the picture, there's a girl with glasses on, and she's got her mouth open and her eyes closed, and she's obviously very happy. And it says laugh. So this is kind of like it defines, these books are sort of defining what happiness is, and some of the words about happiness or about bravery or about kindness, that kind of thing. So here's the first word is called laugh. Happiness bubbles up like laughter, and you can see it in smiling, laughing faces. And you've got kids at a beach and on the ocean on what looks like paddle boards, and they're laughing. The next word is good mood. When you turn a low mood into a good mood, everything seems to lift and bad feelings fly away. And so in the first picture, you have a child crying over his lost ice cream. The ice cream part dropped off the cone part. And in the next page, you see another child sharing her ice cream cone with him. Chase away the clouds and let the sunshine in. And the sunshine is in back of the 2 kids. Pass it on is the next word. When you are cheerful, you can share the feelings with all your friends. And they're playing ball together. There are 5 children playing ball on a beach. Next page is jump for joy. Singing, dancing, skipping, jumping for joy. There are so many ways to show happiness. How do you show yours? And you can see them in one page. They're dancing. On the next page, there's another child with a guitar, it looks like, or a banjo, and then another child listening to her sing. So that gives you some indication of what these books are all about. These are about 6 inches-ish, 7 inches maybe square. They are paper books, and they're great. And in the back of each book is a glossary with all the words with some of the words that we talked about, and then 10 ideas for getting the most from this book. Things like take your time, share the book well, what names would you choose for the children in this book, try to get inside the heads and hearts of each child, how are they sharing their happy feelings, and so forth. So this is a great little series to help kids identify emotions. Next, in this Kane Miller extravaganza, we have a board book series called When Mommy Goes to Work, and then there's its companion that I don't have is called When Daddy Goes to Work. And this is about a child being dropped off to be with grandparents while Mommy is at work. Now, Mommy, it's a board book, and it's about the same size, actually, as the Happiness and Bravery and so forth books. It's about 6 inches square, again, a board book. And in the first page says, Mommy has to go to work. I'll miss you, little one. Be good for Nan and Granddad. Learn lots and have fun. I'm putting on my uniform and checking my supplies. Hugs and kisses, everyone, as we all say goodbye. And in the picture here, Mom is waving along a wall as she waves goodbye to the child, and the child is in his grandparents' arms. It's a great book that shows diversity of characters as well. Grandma is black, Grandpa is white, and the child is obviously multiracial. One of the neat things about this book is the day plays out and the parent and child go side by side. So on the first page, on the left page of the next spread, you've got Mom driving an ambulance, and on the right side, you've got Grandpa helping the child create an ambulance out of cardboard to play in. And it says, go, 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 we've got a call, my first job of the day. Sirens on and flashing lights, help is on the way. And the next, you see the mom in the hospital, and the page that's facing it is Grandma helping the child doctor, like the stuffed animals. I've spoken to the doctor. It's good news. They're all right. In my mind, I see you, and I hug you oh so tight. So that's wonderful to show that the parents are thinking of their children throughout the day. And it goes on like that. There's probably 4 or 5 more pages. And at the end, Mom retrieves the child from Grandpa and Grandma's house, Nan and Grandpa's house. And it says, and then they have a bath and get ready for bed. Did you have a lovely day? I hope you weren't too blue. Remember, when I'm not here, I always think of you. And the next page is them reading a bedtime story together. If you are ever lonely when we are apart, just stay close in knowing that I love you with all my heart. It's a very sweet little board book. When Mommy Goes to Work, and then a companion When Daddy Goes to Work. Last but not least, we have 2 amazing new books that are completely different from anything we've ever done before. The first one is Explore America's National Parks. This is a longer book. It's got over 100 pages for sure. No, it's about 95 pages. And it's organized by, so it says Explore America's National Parks. And it is organized by part of the country. So you've got the West Coast, Alaska, the Rocky Mountains, the tropics, the East, the Central, and then the Southwest. And each part of the United States is highlighted with 3 national parks or sometimes 2 national parks. And then it has a 2-page spread with other parks in that area. But first, we have what Leave No Trace means with pictures. The history of national parks also with pictures starting in 1864 and going to today. And then what to bring to a national park if you're camping. It has a quick, like you have to bring your tent and your sleeping bag and a camp stove, that kind of thing. And if you're hiking, there are, of course, different things to bring. Sturdy shoes, a backpack, snacks or lunch, jacket, sunscreen, compass, etc. With pictures that go along with all these things. And then we start out with a 2-page spread, a picture of the United States, and we're going to start in the West. And so you have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 national parks that are like located on the map. So like they've got a small picture and then that's pointing to where they are on the map, in whether it's California or Washington or Utah and things like that. I don't know if Utah is actually there, but I think it's mostly California, Washington, and Oregon here in this first one. It says the West Coast is home to beaches, rainforests, deserts. This is true, I've been there. Mountain ranges and otherworldly volcanoes. From kayaking with dolphins to standing on a snowy summit, there are adventures for every appetite. And so the first 2-page spread is on Yosemite. It actually has got a 4-page spread. It's got a fact file, a ranger tip, and then a little bit about Yosemite National Park. The next page has, hike this path, try this out at Yosemite. Make sure you find this Indian paintbrush flower. Make sure you smell this and hike here and spot this. And it's got a picture of a mountain goat. How to stay safe from bears and things in Yosemite. The next 2-page spread is about the Olympic National Rainforest, which is just amazing. I've been there. And it's got a little fact file, how many square miles it is, what state it's in, when was it founded as a national park, things to look for and take pictures of, things to pack. And it says it rains 12 to 14 feet per year here. That's a lot of rain. Keep yourself dry and warm with a raincoat and waterproof boots. And here's things to listen to and explore, tide pools and everything else. And then another park. And then the next page has other West Coast parks. And it's got the other 7 parks that were shown on the initial map, but didn't have their own 2-page spreads. So the Redwood Forests, Mount Rainier, Crater Lake, and so forth. And then it's on to Alaska, and it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 national parks listed here, and it's going to cover 2 of them in the same way. A 2 or 4-page spread for each of those parks, and then another 2-page spread with the rest of the parks listed, and just a couple of sentences for each one. So for example, the Katmai National Park, watch brown bears, which are grizzlies that live on the coast, snatching salmon from a rushing river. And then there's the Kobuk Valley National Park. People have hunted caribou here for at least 10,000 years, and the animals still return each year, providing food, warmth, and a sense of awe. And that's all it says about those parks. It has a little drawing about the park, about what you're supposed to look for. So there's a drawing of a bear for the first one, for example. But that's all it says. It's not going to go into any great detail. And then, of course, it goes through the other parts of the national parks, ending with the Hawaiian volcanoes and how to protect parks for the future. It talks about park rangers and volunteers. Another way you can protect parks is by volunteering. Many parks have citizen science projects that help scientists count plants and animals. Local groups also organize projects to clean up trash and maintain trails. No matter what steps you take, your actions can make a difference in keeping our national parks clean and safe for other visitors and wildlife. So this is a great book. It's not going to be for most first graders. It's probably going to be for about 3rd grade and up. But even adults are going to get something out of this book. It's really great, and I really enjoy it myself. Last but not least, we've got our first escape room book. And this one is Can You Escape the Museum on the front. It has 2 kids, like teenager types, young teen types, walking up a staircase, and there's a knight on one side and mummy hands on the other side of the staircase and a dino skeleton at the top. And this is how to play. In a moment, you'll turn the page to begin your adventure, but first here's how to play. As you follow the story through the book, you're going to find a series of mind-boggling puzzles. To solve each one, you'll need to use pressed out items from the paper sheets in the envelope inside the book. It's your job to work out which item you need for each puzzle. Before you begin, take everything out of the envelope inside the book. Find the 2 hint card sheets, press out the cards, and fold each one along the crease so that you see the front. Put them to one side as you play, and make sure you can't see the back of each card. The rest of the sheets contain items that you will use to solve the puzzles. Press them out as you make your way through the book. You'll need to fold some of them to make 3D objects. Don't use tape. If you do, you won't be able to unfold and reuse the items. When you've finished playing, keep all your items safe in the envelope. So if you turn to the back, you'll see it looks like a manila envelope with string around it to hold it closed. And you can open it up, and there are probably a dozen sheets of cardstock type paper. Some are perforated for cutting out and things like that. But you can then close up the envelope pretty easily and go into the book. So this book has about 50 pages in it. There we go. And it's written on about a 4th grade-ish reading level. I'm going to read how it starts. A mysterious message, and you see the 2 kids outside of a doorway that is covered with ivy, and there are 2 crows above them. There's one small light. It says, "It all started a few days ago when you received a strange letter. You had no idea who it was from, but it was written by hand and addressed to you. Inside was a map and a short message. The museum needs your help. February 29, 8 p.m. And now, here you are. As the sun begins to set, you creep around the edge of the museum building, following the instructions in your hand. There it is, a small door set on an ivy-covered wall that's marked Enter Here on the map. You turn the handle, take a deep breath, and enter. The next page has a museum map, and there are 6 rooms. You have to get through one room before you can enter the other, and then you have to get through all the rooms in order to escape the museum. You can't just escape one room and be done. So you're going to start off in the Egyptian gallery. You need to find a key to unlock the doors. Where could one be? Trying not to panic, you spot a small wooden box in one of the displays that rattles. When you pick it up, maybe there's a key inside. There doesn't seem to be a way to open the box. And by the way, the picture of the box is taking up 3/4 of the page. But a strange shape is etched into the top as if there are some pieces missing. Is this some kind of puzzle? And it says, stuck, your hint cards contain extra clues to help you figure out the puzzles. The completed box reveals a word, but this only confuses you more. How will a word help you escape? This museum trip is getting stranger and stranger. As you mutter the word out loud, you hear a click as the box magically unlocks, but there's no key inside, just an ancient piece of papyrus. You unfold the papyrus and discover what looks like an old board game drawn on it, and it looks like the sides of a die, except there's no 5. It's 1, 2, 6, and 4, 3, 6. And there's a little arrow that starts on one of the 6s. So it would go 6, 3, 4, 1, 2, 6. You decided to try to decode this riddle. What have you got to lose? It might even help you get out of here. And so that's, one page. And so first you go through the Egyptian. Once you're done with the Egyptian room, you're locked in with the dinosaurs. And then there's no escape from the Viking gallery with Viking brooches. And then you're marooned in the medieval gallery and stuck in the space gallery. And then eventually you sprint to the door panel to punch in the codes. Out of the corner of your eye, you catch sight of a shabby bandaged creature standing where you first entered the room. Is it a mummy come to life? You enter the code as fast as you can and hear the door click open, but just before you can open it, you feel a hand on your shoulder. And that's not quite the end of the book, but I wanted to keep it a little bit mysterious for you. And so that's the escape room book. It would be great fun for ages about 8 and up. absolutely spectacular fun. Great for a rainy day. Great for a snowy day, too. So in the back it says it includes over 30 items to press out and make. Create an escape room experience at home with this interactive puzzle book. Inside the envelope are models to press out. Your task is to work out which object will help you solve each conundrum and puzzle your way through 6 mysterious museum galleries, from vicious Vikings to terrifying dinosaurs. So that is the end of the Kane Miller type of the new Kane Miller books, and next I will do a series on the Usborne, but that's coming next. Bye.